Hello and welcome back to the Mobius Archives. This is your host, Mobius Rex, and we are playing Kerbal Space Program. Well, last time, we rescued Rotrude, and I realized her name rhymes with Gertrude. So Rotrude, welcome. And you're a pilot. You're a level 1 pilot, kind of like Valentina. Are you? Or you just have a star? Why do you have a star? Thought that implied level. Or maybe that's your experience. Huh. Well, you've had 2 orbits around Kerbin. And both of you provide stability assist and retrograde hold. So that's nice. That's our Valkyrie team. Interesting that you have a white suit and Valentina has an orange one. Huh. Funny. Alright. Well, today we have a few contracts. So we have this plant flag and moon. It's only 4 hours available. We get a 55 fund advance, so we're going to do that because we're going to do that anyways. So let's accept that contract. None of these I feel like we'll be doing anytime soon, but we do have a few active. Orbit the moon. Perform visual surveys of Kerbin, which we still have to do, and getting some satellites into orbit. I think I want to tackle the satellites into orbit one. Why not? Let's do it. So we'll take a look. We can see our polar orbit and our geosynchronous orbit here. Geosynchronous orbit is probably going to be the easiest one for us to get, so we're going to go for the polar orbit first, because... just because. Alright. And before we launch, we should really take a look and see which direction this is heading in. And it's going actually from north to south. And that will really depend on when we launch. If we launch around this time, around here, when the Kerbal Space Center comes here, it'll actually be going from south to north. So we might want to take that into account when we do launch. Let's go see what we can build. Of course, we're building on top of history. So we have stuff that has made it out that far. Orbital Tour 1 might be interesting to use. I wish I had the dates I created these on too. Then I can figure out what was most recent. But let's start off with Tour Flight 2. No, Orbital Tour 1. Let's start off with Orbital Tour 1. Now, we don't need as much science as we had on this one. Or we don't have any science on this one, so that's fine. We're not bringing anything back. At least I don't think that's part of it. Unmanned probe that has an antenna and can generate power. So we'll need at least a couple solar panels. Like so. And it just has to reach the designated polar orbit and maintain stability for 10 seconds. I don't know what that entirely means. Guess we'll find out. In fact, I will actually switch up our command pod and use a Probodobodyne. Partly because I think, or use a Probodobodyne Octo instead of the Stay Putnik Mark 1, because I think it requires less electric charge, and it has a built-in reaction wheel, which will allow us to give us a little bit more stability. Alright, so the Octo's a primary one. We're going to toss a couple of... what will take cells on that? So... and this we're just going to leave up there. We're not going to bother bringing this back. So this will be interesting because we don't actually have RCS on this one. So we might just want to be a bit careful. Or not. Whatever. And we need an antenna. So toss you on the front. Bloop. There we go. Put that closer to the middle. Alright, looking good. So this is not an orbital tour. This is Polar 1. Save it. Launch it. Alright, a little bit wobbly on the launch pad, but I think we should be able to handle that. And we want to pretty much just start heading north. I'm going to time accelerate a bit. Just to get us... closer. Whoa, too far. Too far. Oh, might as well wait a day now. Because I think that's us ready to launch. Or half a day. I guess I could head south. And And like that. Nighttime launch. And guess I'm going to want to head south. Hit F5. SES on. Oh. Electric charge, kind of. Not particularly great because I left our SAS on overnight. Do you generate electric charge? Oh, you will. Hopefully. Yep, definitely generates electric charge, which is what we need. Get rid of those, throttle all the way up. Keep your control on. Nope, what's going on? Nope, you just turned into a bullet. Maybe this thing needs a little bit more of a stability assist. I'll try to hold it together, because we keep on doing stuff like that. Nope. Nope, not good enough. Let's revert that flight to vehicle assembly. Don't like that at all. So maybe bigger fins? Just replace those with Delta Deluxe winglets. We'll call this the Polar 2. Save it. We'll launch it. And bring our time around. Bring our ship around. Now, whether this actually has enough fuel to make it out this far, we'll find out. SAS on. How's your electrical charge? Good. And launch. So far, so good. We do want to move a little bit so that we're not right over the landing pad when we drop those off. Hopefully those didn't destroy everything. Yeah, this definitely feels a little bit more stable. I guess those little winglets we had before weren't good enough. Delta Deluxe seems to be what we were wanting. Whether this gets us into a polar orbit or not, we shall see. Looking pretty good. We're already getting out of the atmosphere, and we still have a little bit of fuel left in the stage. So I'm going to let it up until we do fully, completely get out of the atmosphere. Not in orbit yet, but that's atmosphere exit. And this is way out at the 2 million mark. Alright. 2 million. Yes. So we could probably wait for apoapsis before we continue pushing this along. And 16 seconds to the apoapsis, and I think we can start up now. Now, I am still pointing north instead of sideways, or instead of where my prograde vector is, because we are still trying to change our maneuver. There goes our first stage. Bye-bye. And what the hell? Oh, crap. Oh, well, sometimes you forget to add fuel. Alright, back to the drawing board. Alright, Polar 3 now with a fuel tank. I can't believe I did that. Alright, let's launch that. And bring the planet around. We'll just shake that up there. And that should give us enough time to get into polar orbit. Hit F5. And launch. Alright, I think we're doing a lot better. We're just going to coast here until we reach our apoapsis. It's going to be in a minute. And so we could just time accelerate. Whoa, yes. Time accelerate till we're ready. Or at least a little bit closer. I like being within 4 to 5 seconds or so. There we go. And well, first, get out of the atmosphere, please. 69, 70, there we go. Now our spaceship can rotate around to the horizon. We have lots of time. Lots of time. And throttle up. There we go. Still on our first stage engine, second stage engine, whatever. Our liquid fuel engine here should give us enough to at least get into an orbit. See what else we need. Just want to keep the apoapsis in front of us. And keep on... Whoa! More maneuverability. Keep on pushing forward. And there we go. I think that's stable periapsis. Yep. Now, whether we have enough fuel to make it out that far, that's a good question. Might have actually wanted to wait until we were right on this line. Well, things you find out in retrospect. Now, here we can just play around with maneuvers a little bit, just to get our nodes right. Seems to be almost right, a little bit too far out, so we can pull back that way. Can at least touch our periapsis, and if we need to for a second flight, we'll know how much fuel we'll need. This is a 34-second burn in 4 minutes. Put it on target like that, so we'll probably want to just start this around 15 seconds. 15, 16, 17 seconds maybe. Don't let it go too fast, but don't overshoot your target. There we go. Throttle up and try to stick to target. And this will bring us out to a larger apoapsis and should rotate our trajectory the right way. This is mostly trajectory adjustment. And got it. Pretty good. Don't know if there's a better way to actually line us up with this stuff, because we don't get an ascending node here. It's not something it looks like we have. Anyway, we have 5 there. We might just have something in polar orbit that zips around us. Just bring us around to our apoapsis. A little bit high for what we wanted. Not sure how much leeway we have. We do have a limited amount of fuel. We might just have a satellite in orbit that didn't quite do what we wanted it to, but that's the experiment that we have. Throttle that up. Extend our periapsis out. In fact, wait until we get our next periapsis, because that should be our next encounter with our apoapsis, because that should actually allow us to help push it out that far. Might not have enough fuel though. Alright, realigning here. A little bit more. Got it. Maintain stability for 10 seconds. So we've reached the designated polar orbit. Yay, first time. And we've maintained stability for 10 seconds. Awesome. Congratulations, Polar 3. You did it. Extend that. Or retract that. And might as well get this rotated into solar exposure, better solar exposure, but that means we at least have some sunlight coming here. So, F5, and go back to our space center. We're going to leave that there, because we can. Alright. That does mean we have that orbiting that way, but we can, probably using a similar Polar 3 type, get a geosynchronous orbit that far out. That's about 3 million by 3 million. This is 3.6 million by 2.4 million, but it should actually be a little bit less expensive because it is closer to the horizon. So why don't we get that set up? Call this one Geosynchronicity 1. And science data from space around Kerbin. We can definitely do that. However, it looks like someone wants to put a satellite in a specific orbit around Minmus. They're going to give us money for that, and we have 10 years to do it. But they're offering this only to us for 1 more day, so I'm going to accept that. Won't do that just yet. We want to get our geosynchronous orbit first. So let's load that back up. Geosynchronicity 1. This one, I think what we'll do, we'll toss science. We can do a temperature scan, right? Yeah. Get a temperature scan there. And I think that's about it. That's about all we care about. And this should do what we need. Alright. SAS on. Launch. And turn over a little bit because you don't want to drop stuff on the launch pad. So I'm just changing our orbit a bit because it is kind of a wonky approach. At least it looks like it to me. Slightly wonky. We want that apoapsis like that. So just heading... Whoa, going the wrong way. I want to be going north, not south. Whoopsie. Fly by instruments, please. I'm going to head for 45 degrees. I'm not sure. Maybe this descending node tells me. It tells me how far it is away from me. Huh. It's interesting. Not paying enough attention. Alright. Apoapsis is really high out there. Huh. Might have to redo this one. Alright, bring us about to our apoapsis, seeing what we can do with this one. We might just need a reattempt at this. I think I wasted a lot of time redirecting our ship. Is that not active? That's not active. There we go. Better. Because I think I sent our ship the wrong way. We got a little bit more of a different node than I wanted. Alright, let's first get to orbit, and then we can see about adjusting our nodes. Alright, stable orbit, that's what we want. So it's hard to judge for me, but I think... Let's see what happens. This is a bit too wonky, but... I aim south, bringing our ascending node down. Oops, too much. No. Let's play with this a bit. I'll use maneuvers instead. No, it looks like I want to go north. Go north. At that point, we should be a little bit better. So this is exactly why maneuvers are so great, because they can help you plan things like this. Did I overshoot? Undershoot? 4.9. Still coming down. Alright, still a few degrees off, but I think we've lost that opportunity there. How about on this side? And about here, I think. Oops. Right there. Add a maneuver. I think here I want to go that way. Probably a much better way to do this. Okay, just trying a little bit more. A little bit cautiously. Just bring this down. Alright, we're down to 1 degree difference. Going to try to do that when we're close to where our ascending node and descending node line up. And 0.8. Just keep on following it. Seems to work. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Do this again. So basically, where the ascending node and descending node are right across from each other. I don't know of any better way to do this. Seems to work. So in my case, because I'm on the ascending node side, I'm pointing south, so at 180. 0.2. 0. Alright. We're in the right spot. Don't know if we have the right amount of fuel. However, we will find a prograde vector and just drive. Hit F5 first. So we're close. Our ascending node came off a bit, but we're close. Don't think I have enough fuel to push this all the way out there, though. And we'll just push it a little bit more, get closer. And that's it. That's as close as we can get. Not enough. Let's go back to Space Center and build something a little bit more powerful. Probably don't need to, but in this case, I think it'll be worthwhile. Also, don't forget, we had a request. Whoops. First off, get this solar panel in orbit, and it says science from space. We can log the temperature out here, keep that data, and transmit it. Transmit data. Which is really all we need. That should satisfy that mission. Cool. And now we have something out here. Anytime we do get that contract to get science data from space, we have something to take care of that. Nice. Alright, we've done up the Synchronicity 2. And the only thing that's really changed here is that I've added a small fuel tank, the FLT 100, in addition to this one up here. So our upper stage should give us a little bit more fuel to work with. Alright, save that and launch. We probably don't need too much fuel here. We probably could have worked with what we had before. But I'm just adding a little bit more just in case. Now throttle all the way up. SES on, and launch. Alright, so far so good. I'm having a little bit of stability issues. But other than that, let's see. Trying to match our approach to the same one as we have here. We're 7.4 off 7.3, so far so good. We're going down, so that's a start. Apoapsis is going up, that's better. And I'm just trying to keep an eye on what's going on with our ascending node. It probably won't try to push it too far right now. But, keep an eye on that. Ditch that stage, and activate our engine. There we go, 0. Alright, now all we have to do is reach the periapsis. Trying to line our apoapsis, 2780. Not bad. It's a 17-second burn in 4 minutes. And almost there. Got your engines. And just throttle up gently. Gently. 2735. We're aiming for 2795. Oh, we're almost perfectly there. Alright, let's whip around to this part and pretty much do the same on the other side. So what went wrong? Reach designated... Oh, bloody hell. Well, looks like we forgot a materials bay. Oh, fun. Alright, we're back, and it turns out I've been looking at this wrong. So, we want to reach designated geosynchronous orbit, but we need a materials bay. I guess I completely missed that. So we'll have to modify this a bit. Need to have a materials bay. Alright. SAS on. And full throttle, and go! 2941, 2943. Perfect. Good enough, and then we sit here for 10 seconds. And that's it. That's all complete. And we get 1 million funds and some other stuff. We can even observe the materials base since we're high in space over Kerbin, and we can transmit that data. Yay. There we go. Material study while in space. Let's return to the Space Center. And so we have slight bit more science, a lot more funds, allows us to upgrade. Alright, but that does it for today. And this has been Movies Rex from Movies Archives. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, just like, leave some comments and suggestions. Ooh, I could pave the runway. Have a good day. And a wonderful night. Bye-bye.